even.
But I think this album is more looking into the outside world, because I think the previous one was really introspective. How do you look back on the 1 + 1 is 1?
I just think it's the right record for each record you make has to be the right one at that point in time. I think you've got to do something that you've not done before, a little bit, and it was by design, that record. The last album was a quieter release because I kind of needed a break. I'd been pretty busy. 4 albums in 4 years was pretty prolific, and quite a lot of success, a lot of touring, so that album needed to be a little bit more low key, which is the way it turned out. And I didn't feel much pressure making that album. It was the last album I made for XL Recordings, and I just kind of knew I was going to be moving on, and so I just kind of made the record I wanted to make, and I think it's a good record and it was the right one at the time. But this one, because of that, had to be something a little bit more of a statement. I think a bit more commercial even. So that was the challenge on this album, was to make something that might bring me back to the wider audience again. But whether that happens or not is not up to me, really.
Yeah, but I think nee, wat wil je zeggen? But I think how come you skipped the recordings you did with Stephen Street last year? Because you already started recording. Was it because of this you wanted to be the album more of a statement, and you couldn't quite figure it out, or?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I just wasn't ready. I did feel pressure. I felt when I started in January 2005, I started to write songs for this album, and I felt like it was going fine. I didn't suffer from any writer's block or anything like that. I was consistently writing decent material, I think. But when it came to recording a record last year, it just didn't. It took about 3 or 4 weeks recording, say, 20 songs, and they're pretty good songs. I think I'll still end up doing something with them at some point, but it just didn't happen. The vibe wasn't right. The way things went was just kind of in a direction I didn't like, and I kind of lost control of where I wanted to be, or what I wanted to say. I just couldn't see a way of finishing the record I'd started, so I just had to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave it. And
was the first time you had this experience, or?
Yeah, it was really. I'd never really gone through that kind of a sort of, I don't know. I was just confused by it and devastated. But once I'd decided to let it go, I felt relieved again, and I thought, right, I need to start again. And so it was cool in the end. I mean, I just didn't want to upset anybody else, and we kind of wasted some money doing it. And but the record company were very supportive. They just said, well, if you don't feel right about it, let's just take a break and start again.
But were you afraid then of starting then again, and maybe you had some extra pressure because of the failed recordings, or?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it made this set of recordings for this album become even more pressured, really, because I thought if that happens again, if I get to the end of this one and I'm not happy with that, then that could be it. That could be the end of the road for me in music, because so that's how much pressure this felt to get right. And I mean, even right up to the last week of finishing this record, I still wasn't very happy with it. I thought,
how come?
I don't know. I think because of the pain it had put me through to do it. I just thought, well, I'm always going to associate these songs with bad feelings of the hardship of making it. I mean, maybe this is going to be the case for the rest of my career. It's always going to get harder, or maybe it's just this one record was just a unique experience that I'll never go through again. And but now that it's done, I feel relieved, and I feel like it's good enough. You know, it's kind of a good record, and I can be proud of it. And I don't associate the songs with the pain anymore. I just associate them with it's something that had to happen.